The nature of having the King LeBron James on your team is that Clutch Sports will have an influence on the franchise. It's happened on every team LeBron James has played for. His first stint in Cleveland, Miami Heat, his second stint in Cleveland, and now with the Los Angeles Lakers. For example, the pros of that were the acquisition of center Anthony Davis, who almost certainly wouldn't have come to the Lakers if not for LeBron James and Clutch Sports. The cons to that are the constant discussions of how much power Clutch Sports has on the squabbles that come along with that. The Lakers experienced the later of those two when LeBron James went on his media tour around All-Star Weekend this season, which eventually led to a meeting between the front office of the Lakers and Rich Paul to get on the same page. The former of those, though, is something that can't really be doused entirely. But Lakers owner Jeanie Buss did her best to squash that notion during an interview with Bill Plaschke of the LA Times. Jeanie is taking full accountability about the situation with Clutch Sports, as did general manager Rob Pelinka with his comments during their exit interviews. It's certainly noteworthy. It's clear that they want credit for things if they go right, but it also means that if things do continue to go salty or get bad, those two have positioned themselves as the two main figures to lump all the blame on Clutch Sports and LeBron James. It's also freeing Clutch Sports of the blame, though there have been contradictory reports on that matter. The Lakers want everyone to know they are in charge, but also want to blame Clutch and LeBron James for the Russell Westbrook trade. This isn't a matter where they can have their cake and eat it too. Either Clutch is involved or they aren't. The truth is, Clutch Sports and the Lakers can have a beneficial partnership and largely have during their tenure together. I mean, they won a title less than 3 seasons ago during the NBA bubble in 2020. A disastrous season deserves some level of finger pointing and blame, and the two parties have done that. So, while Clutch Sports does not run the LA Lakers, they have had significant influence on the franchise. No matter how much Jeanie Buss and Rob Pelinka want to deny that moving forward, in reality, it may be in their best interest not to entirely separate Clutch Sports, as the hammer may come down sooner rather than later if there's another disappointing season and no one is going to be left to absorb that blow. Let's talk reality though. Clutch Sports and LeBron James dictate who comes to every single team that plays with LeBron James. It does not matter. Yes, they call the shots. Jeanie Buss and Rob Pelinka can deny it all they want. But in order to keep LeBron James happy, you must bring in the players in his agency in order to keep them long term.